XRP 589. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it a conspiracy? Well, some people think it's $5.89. Some people think it's $589. But what if they're both wrong, right? I mean, for goodness sake, we saw Brad Garlinghouse have 589 followers. I mean, what's up with that? I mean, obviously, he's kind of entertaining the 589 sort of conspiracy, if you will, right? But what if it's not a conspiracy? What if there's some truth behind it? Well, then it would probably, in my opinion, be associated with something with the price, right? Most people look at XRP USD, but I think it's probably not going to be that. So I gravitated over to what? The market cap of XRP, right? Think about the market cap of XRP. So if you look at XRP, the market cap, you can see very clearly that you have a massive cup and handle, right? So if you measure the cup on log scale, it actually gives you a very beautiful target, but I think it's a little bit too much, right? Because remember, we're looking at it on log scale. Things are going to be different. If you measure the handle from here all the way up to here, right, and you look at where that gets you, that actually gets you right about to $589, okay? $589 billion, rather, right? The market cap. So I think instead of XRP $589, it's probably XRP $589 billion market cap. So what does a $589 billion market cap give us in terms of price? I'm going to tell you that in just a second, but if you look here, we see a 1.47 fib. Now that is not a common fib level, but that's the fib that actually lined up with 589. And I thought it was interesting because who is number 47? It's Donald J. Trump, our pro-crypto president that is initiating what we see today as a pretty beautiful bull run. It hasn't even really started yet, but 47 equates with Trump. So I thought that was funny. Again, I'm not a Riddler guy. This is just my thinking here. I'm a chart guy. I'm a facts guy. But the 589 number is kind of like, what's going on here? So maybe, right? So just throwing it out there. I'm not saying it's the case, but I thought it was interesting. So what does a $589 billion market cap give you in terms of price? Well, if we look at the USD pair and we look at the same extension, 1.47, we're looking at $16.16, right around there, between $15 and $16, let's say. So there you go. So $16 actually represents a $589 billion market cap. However, it could fluctuate a little bit depending on the inflation of XRP, right? So it's not a crazy, insane number like $100 XRP. It's not a small number like 5, 8, even a $9 or $10 XRP. It's kind of in a sweet spot. You know what I mean? $15, $16. It seems appropriate. You know what I mean? Obviously, it can go way higher or it can come a lot lower. This is not financial advice. Again, I'm just throwing it out there based off the measurement of the handle, right? And that's simple, right? If you look at for example, what happened before, right? You can see we have a massive crypto base. This is the largest base in crypto history, okay? Inside the top 10, even 20, I think. So this is the biggest base in crypto history. The bigger the base, the higher in space. It's also the longest downward resistance line in crypto history, the largest supply line, okay? Now, if you look, it is basically a carbon copy of what happened back over here, right? You can see very clearly we have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, liquidity grab, breakout. Same thing here. We have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. We go sideways. We have our liquidity grab. And now it appears that we are blasting off, okay? So let's see how this continues to play out. We also had a weekly close, right? This is actually the 2-week chart, but we had a weekly close above this order block, which is very important. Now we are only a hop, skip, and a jump away for becoming, essentially becoming a lot richer than you were. So let's see how it all plays out. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking the 589 number is. Let me know what you think it is. Again, it could be just total hogwash, but it actually kind of makes sense because think about it. Eventually XRP will hit $15, $16 at some point in its life. I believe that to be the case, right? So eventually we're going to see a $589 billion market cap. Maybe that could mark the cycle top, right? Or maybe it's something completely different. Maybe it's $589. Maybe it's $5,089. Who knows? Maybe it's only $5.89, right? Or maybe it's none of that. Maybe it's just something that went viral and people talk about. Who knows? But it's entertaining. It's fun to talk about. And other than that, let's just stick to the facts. And the facts are, putting the 589 away, we are regardless, right, breaking out. And we should at least hit between $8 and $10. Why? Because if you look at this entire structure, we really only have 3 waves, right? Or actually 4 waves. If you look at Dogecoin, here's a prime example of Dogecoin. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where XRP is. And then boom, 5. If you look at XRP, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, wait a minute. Where's 5? We don't have 5. Why? Because thanks, Gary Gensler and the SEC. Thanks for keeping the prices down. Thanks for allowing us to accumulate more than we ever thought possible, right? And eventually we should get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exactly what Dogecoin did. So you can see how powerful Dogecoin reacted once it broke out of this thing. And this right here is only half the size of what this is. This is twice as big. This is 7 years, guys. This is a massive structure. Okay, so when this thing actually breaks out, right, you basically want a huge structure. Everybody says, oh, XRP this, XRP that, it's trash, it's no good, people give up on it, people sell it, people say blah, blah, blah. The reason why is because they're used to crypto running 1,000 miles an hour. They're not used to a crypto giving us torture, right? That's what XRP is. It's a torture chamber. Boom, boom, sideways, 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 sideways for 7 years. That makes people give up, right? But only the strong survive. But I've been saying on my YouTube channel for as long as it's been up, that is bullish. That's what we want. Sideways is your best friend because sideways either is distribution or it's accumulation. And in this case, it's accumulation. Why is it accumulation and not distribution? Well, just look at the landscape, guys. Look at everything that's going on. I mean, it's clear as day. Look at the position Ripple is in. They've never been in a position that they, ever before that they are in right now. So it is the largest American fintech company in the world. And President Trump wants to put American blockchain companies at the forefront of this new enterprise, right? And I think they're going to really dominate this space. So that's why you don't want to discount American block. First of all, Bitcoin's not American, Ethereum's not American, Tether's not American, it's a stable coin, doesn't matter, right? Who's the number 1 American blockchain company in the world that's in the top 10? It's Ripple, right? So everybody uses payments, right? You ask grandma and grandpa, hey, do you know what a smart contract is? Do you know what an oracle is? Do you know what a layer 2 is? They're going to go, what the hell are you talking about? But grandma and grandpa, do you know what payments are? Oh, yeah, I make payments all the time, right? Cell phone payments, insurance payments, mortgage payments, right? Payments are the biggest thing, okay? That's what really crypto thrives on. But yes, all that other fancy stuff, right, like AI and all that's going to be great. It's going to be a home run. But payments is what everybody can get on board with. And I think that's just the beginning. Like Brad Garlinghouse said, he compared Amazon to Ripple. Well, here's the thing. Amazon took 10 years to break out. Remember when Amazon ran up in the dot-com bubble in 1999? Okay. It took 10 years for it to finally break out. It had a similar structure to XRP. And why am I talking about Amazon? Because Brad Garlinghouse compares Ripple to Amazon. Amazon is to books as Ripple is to payments. Amazon started off doing books and things like that, right? And then they migrated to other things. Now they do everything, right? So it's the same thing with XRP and Ripple. They started off doing payments, but guess what? They can do other things as well, things that'll blow your mind. Talk about like derivatives. That's on another level, right? The derivative market is insane. I think it's like trillions, even like multi-trillions, right? So, and if you look at, tokenization or bonds or whatever, right? There's so many things, all the money, right? All the money. So, Amazon, we look at Amazon, look at this. This is the monthly chart, by the way. This is a massive chart. This is 99 all the way to 2013. That's a long time. Okay, so we ran up here. Massive pump, right? We had a dump. So same thing. We had a rise, a crash, a retrace, and then we went down into reaccumulation. We went sideways, 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 sideways. It took 10 years, and then we finally broke out. So if Amazon took 10 years, why can't XRP take 7 or even 8? You know what I mean? Amazon's one of the most successful companies in the world. Okay, so at the end of the day, I wouldn't really want to discount XRP. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say today. But I think this is a great, amazing time. I think President Trump is going to put us in a position, because remember, XRP has a lot of ammunition as well. Think about the Ripple IPO. Think about the XRP ETF. Think about other XRP ETFs. Think about the Senator Loomis bill. Think about it passing through the House. Now it passes. We got to pass it through the Senate, and then the White House has to sign it, right? That's going to be a done deal. And then what else do we have? Well, we have probably other altcoin ETFs on the horizon as well. So all of this is just ammunition and validation, right? It validates what crypto is, and people need to take it seriously. The reason why it's taken so long is because the central bankers see it as a threat. They don't like DeFi. They don't like crypto. They don't like decentralization. Why? Because it's a threat to their stronghold, but eventually they have to embrace it. So they come out with the CBDC crap, and people can very clearly see the difference. So it's not really working for them. So, Bitcoin is a mirror. It is a reflection of their dying system, just like all of crypto, right? So anyways, we'll see what happens. The sky's the limit. This is not financial advice, by the way, but we'll see how it all plays out. I think Ripple is one of the best companies out there right now. I mean, just look at this. I mean, do you see Dogecoin or like Cardano hanging out with Christine Lagarde? I don't like her either. I think she's a deep stater, but still, you know what I mean? You have the director of the monetary markets, right? The IMF. I mean, that's some high level stuff. You got the chairman of Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority. I mean, that's some high level stuff right there. You got the chief executive Hong Kong Monetary Authority. That's some pretty high level stuff. And then you got Brad Garlinghouse right there, Ripple XRP. I mean, come on, guys. That's some interesting stuff. And then you also have the World Bank documents talking about XRP, XLM, right? So I don't know why people can't see it. I don't know why, XRP is kind of like the adult version of Bitcoin in a way, so it's all going to come down to the Federal Reserve, because we don't live in a people's system. We live in a central banking fiat currency debt enslavement system. They print money out of thin air. They loan it to the government with interest attached. Then we, the taxpayer, have to pay it back plus interest. What sort of rig deal is that? Trump has been battling the banks his whole life. He knows all about the banks. Think about his bankruptcies, right? He turned $1 million into $10 billion. That's like turning $100 into what, like 10 million or $1 billion? It's not an easy thing to do. And yes, he's went bankrupt plenty of times, but you win some, you'll lose some. You just want to win more than you lose. So anyways, the ones he went bankrupt, he knew how to leverage the banks in a way, and he knew how to battle the banks because he was on the verge of losing everything, right? And he went to war with the banks, and he finally, had a settlement. So he knows how it works. So what's going on? And you can say, oh, well, why is he running the country if we went bankrupt? Well, that tells me he has experience with bankruptcy. Guess who's bankrupt? The United States. The United States has been bankrupt for a long time, right? They sold us out to the central bankers long ago, right? So at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to Trump and the Patriots versus the deep state and the central banks. That's what the final war is going to be about. We already know Trump tweeted about the Fed even before he was president. I mean, look, he said it is so important to audit the Federal Reserve, right? I mean, I wouldn't even look at that part, but that was back when they were kind of, in competitors. But anyway, the Fed should not do another stimulus. We can't keep spending our children's future away, right? That was 2012. And then they say, oh, well, when we had C-19, he spent a $2.2 trillion bill. Well, yeah, if the dollar, if you're in a position to change the central banking system forever, then you want to spend the dollars before they're worthless, right? So that's kind of how I see it. I think once Trump gets in, he's going to enact his policies, right? First of all, they're going to make it very difficult for him to get in. It's not going to be a smooth transfer of power. They're going to pull something out of their hat, right? And they're going to say, oh, something, and they're going to make it difficult for him to actually secure. Maybe even Biden stepping down, right? The 13th Amendment. And then Kamala is an acting president, right? And maybe there's some shenanigans that go on over there. We'll have to wait and see. But I think Trump will eventually get in the White House. And then once he starts implementing his policies, we're going to start to see the economy really take a dive. And I think not the physical economy, but the statistical numbers that we see out there, right? So I believe this is what the deep state is planning, right? Because it doesn't matter who's president. You can't fix a system that has cancer, okay? If you look at the economy, right, you have the people's economy, right? And then you have the central banking economy. So Trump is going to take his policies and he's going to make the people's economy better. But you can only make it so good because this economy runs on top of the central banking financial system, the monetary system, right? So if this system is broken, then this on top can only do so much. It's not going to perform well. So you need to totally destroy it or at least reconstruct it. And that's where I think gold comes into play. I think Trump is putting us in a position to transition us away from the central banking fiat currency system into a new blockchain-based, gold-based backed system, right? Not through a private bank, not through a private central bank, because private banks have private shareholders, and private shareholders have ownership, and just like George Carlin said, they're owners, they own you, right? So we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want our multi-hundred trillion dollar economy in the hands of owners. We want it trustless, like the blockchain. I don't have to trust anybody because I know it's fair. It's fair game for everybody. So we need something like that. Maybe we can reconstruct the Fed into the Treasury or something like that. Right? We don't know exactly what it's going to look at, but if you take out a $20 bill, it says United States Federal Reserve debt note. We don't want debt notes. We want money. We want real money, okay? We don't want that fake stuff. We want it to say United States dollar, right? We don't want it to say Federal Reserve debt note, all right? That's not real money. So at the end of the day, I mean, just look at my X account. By the way, it's been deleted so many times. I've had to start new ones. I guess they don't like what I'm saying. But anyway, we can see the dollar just degrading. Okay. So, what does that mean? That means get out while you still can. All right. So you can see countries like Russia, China, they're de-dollarizing, they're dumping U.S. Treasuries, they're buying record amounts of gold. Right. What does this mean? This means that something's happening. Okay. And that means we should be very aware of that. And I think having cash and is very important, but having endless amounts of money in the bank is kind of a stupid thing to do. So for me, I've been transferring what I have into crypto over since 2017. And the reason I'm doing that is because I can see the writing on the wall. And maybe you can too. I believe you do. So we'll see what happens. But I think the final war is approaching us. And that war is going to be we the people with our president, Donald Trump, versus the deep state and the central banks, right? That is the entity. That is the problem of all problems. That's why we see all the world's problems. Look at all the wars, look at all the disease, look at everything, right? It's all the corporations, the pharmaceutical companies, the central banks, right? That's why Bernie Sanders, I don't like him. He's a socialist, but he actually led a grassroots movement, and they actually stole it away from Bernie. Why? Because Bernie talked about real stuff like Wall Street and the central banks, right? Now, President Trump has a different strategy, but he feels the same way. He wants to break up the big banks as well. He wants American business to be free, right? But he doesn't want a monopoly over our money. And that's why crypto is an alternative to what we have now. So we can opt out of the system very freely, right? But under Kamala Harris, you would have been in a different situation. So anyways, we'll see how it all plays out. I will catch you guys in the next one. Remember, not financial advice. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.